Hi, I'm here with Robert Ferguson, the LGAQ's Senior Advisor on Environmental and Public Health, and we're here to talk about the government's waste reforms and what impacts they're going to have on local councils. Robert, part of the reforms is, as we all know, a waste levy, and there has been talk about the revenue from that waste levy going to things other than waste management. What will be the impact of that on councils, do you think?
Look, Craig, I think the initial comment I would make on that is that councils are going through a very difficult time right now, financially, with everything that's happened with China waste restrictions. And I think right now it is very important that funds that are generated from the waste levy are fully returned to local councils and the waste industry. We don't often agree totally with the waste industry on many matters, but this is one where there is very solid support across both local governments and the waste industry of the importance to have these funds go back to help the waste industry right now.
Okay. Yeah. And look, there's a bit of a question mark about non-domestic, non-wheelie bin waste, like waste from parks and street sweeping and all of that being included as part of the levy. What do you think that's going to mean for councils?
We are very concerned about that. The state government has given a commitment that 105% of the funds generated relating to MSW, curbside domestic, will be fully returned to councils in advance. We are concerned that street bins and street sweeping and even self-haul domestic waste is not covered as exempt from the waste levy, and these are real direct impacts on the household. The state government claims these are indirect. We would beg to differ. We strongly feel that these have a financial burden on councils and should be incorporated in those advance payments or exempted.
Okay. Now, while this has all been going on, China has decided to effectively ban a lot of the recyclable waste that they've getting from Australia to process. What's been the impact of that, and how can councils cope?
We have been concerned around the China waste restrictions. We have written to the state government back in April. We are very concerned about the financial impacts on local government. We're equally concerned that that there's not enough measures put in place to help councils around the market maturity, finding markets for recyclate, around technology and development opportunities out there, and there's just generally a lack of funds going to help local councils and the industry. We call on the state government for urgent attention on this matter to fund these initiatives like they have done in other states, New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia. There have been rescue packages to help out. We've had nothing in Queensland as yet. These do impact basic council operations, and I think the undermining issue is that there is really good there's goodwill in local government land. There's a lot of goodwill and a lot of people working very hard to get the best outcomes, but the impacts of this will be a burden on local councils, and we are concerned that we don't want to erode that the community, I suppose, the community expectations of local government in delivering here. So right. It's critical. Yeah.
And look, the government's released this discussion paper on these reforms. The LGAQ has put its submission in, outlining a lot of the concerns that you've just raised. Where to from here?
Well, a lot of unknowns. We believe there will be a waste levy in the first quarter of next year, probably around about March or April, but the jury is still out on that one. We do know that in this time frame we need to have an amendment bill. We need to review the waste strategy. We need to finalise that waste strategy, and more importantly, councils aren't geared up for the for waste levy. The need to have waste infrastructure in place. It takes time to build a weighbridge and to fence and secure a facility. These are critical pieces of work that have to be done. Having a database in place across the board where all councils can access it, training council staff. There's a lot of this work will have to happen, and equally important, once you introduce a waste levy mid-term in a budget cycle, councils will need to amend their revenue statements as well. We have the assurance from the state government that they will put the legislation in place to make this happen, but we are concerned that that time is of the essence here, and And although we are on a number of working groups, advisory groups and working groups, working with the state government, we are concerned that we haven't been listened to in relation to a few of these matters, and I think that's important that we get a bit more traction with the state government on those.
So we're going to be very busy over the next couple of months.
Well, I jokingly say that the waste managers across local governments are really earning their money this financial year, but I think equally can be said about the elected members who hold the waste management portfolios. I think the next 12 months will see them very busy too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks very much, Robert.
Thank you.